Ladies and gentlemen, today I'd like to talk about Google reviews, and they can be very deceptive. I'm going to use this company, Precise Iron Doors, as an example. And yes, it's with intent because I'm writing a bad review and I want them to know, and I want you to know why I wrote this bad review. I gave them 1 star. I said, bad experience with these guys. I put down $8,500 deposit 2 months ago. When I called to check on the status of a project, neither the principal owners would come to the phone. I've sent numerous emails and no response. I think there could be something going on, some sense of financial desperation. The receptionist did get him to give me a message that the gate will be finished in December. Now it was June 19th that I gave him the check. And no call back, 2.5 months. They didn't give me because when they sent the guy to pick up the check, and then they sent an invoice, but it didn't have a date, an estimate date. So I want to know when. And it's like 4 or 5 phone calls and 3 or 4 emails before she called me back and said sometime in December. And I'm thinking, damn, if I'm giving you a check in June, I was expecting it because my neighbors and I we're sharing a gate. So they're paying. He's supposed to pay me half of the gate cost. So I put up the money initially, $8,500, because I had worked with these guys on a different project. The project came out well, even though we had some problems in between. But that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about this Google review. So a 3.7, normally a company with a 3.7, not bad. Huh? That's pretty good. And if you scroll down, damn, all of these 5 stars, a month ago. And they can do some good work. I used them once before, put in a door like this at my house, sent 4 guys, and damn, they were almost fighting in the front. So I went outside there and said, what's going on, guys? And these were grown men, And I said, well, who's in charge? And everybody look around, nobody's in charge. And then I'm thinking, how the hell you send 4 grown men out and nobody's in charge? That lets me know there's a problem. But I went back to them because the doors were pretty good. But then I found, and then I'm looking at these stars. I said, well, they did this. But then once they did this to me, I decided to do a little deeper search. And I go here into the Better Business Bureau, and you'll find all of these negative reviews. And I was like, well, why the hell those don't show up on the front page there with Google? And I happen to have a social media guy that worked for me. And he was like, well, go back to the page, Doc. And then he said, where you have reviews here, he said, go down to sort. And then put lowest ratings rather than just that. And then if you scroll down, now they start to pop up. And then you see all these low ratings and why and so forth. But I said, well, still they have like a 3.7, almost 4 stars. And he said, look at this, though. It's a gate and fence company. You think they would normally have 456 reviews? They're flooding it. They're flooding it with good reviews. They could have their friends, they could have AI generated or whatever, but they're putting out a lot of reviews. And they don't have to come to the phone. They don't have to because they're manipulating, and so their reviews are always going to look good. The front page, if you scroll down, and so that's why I say be careful if it's Google, because if I sort by the newest or most relevant, maybe that's how, I don't know what the algorithm is set up to do when you first get it, because it has this drop down. You could go newest, which is mine would be on the top because I wrote it yesterday. It says 3 hours ago, but that was actually yesterday. But this is actually a training opportunity for anybody that's doing business. Customer service. We're in the service business. I'm a dentist. We don't sell products. We sell service. So I train my staff. One, people, and by far the largest complaint for dental offices is the wait time. So you want to be able to speak to the obvious. You know the wait time is there. I was just picking my car up yesterday morning at a Porsche dealership. This guy works there. He was saying, I heard you're a dentist. He said, I went to this dentist recently and I waited an hour. And they're behind the reception desk and they're laughing. And they let me sit there the whole hour, and then they come out, oh, do you have an appointment? And maybe we can reschedule. He said, I don't ever want to go back there again. It's just poor service. One, when you're sitting on the other side, and if you've been there, you're on the other side and you waited all of that time. I don't care what's going on back there with them. I don't find a damn thing funny at that point, because now I'm getting up and I'm pissed off. They should have come out and spoken to me, asked me when I got there. So customer service is just huge. Always, always pay attention to the obvious. And if you're doing service, you're a servant. Don't feel humiliated just being a servant. Because you could become a well-paid servant. That's what I call myself. I don't mind doing service, but I'm a damn well-paid servant. I do it right. And I've been doing service from the time, from waiting tables to selling clothing and all, and I just love it. But you got to be good at it. And these guys, they're good at what? Hiding. They're good at hiding and being deceptive. So be careful, especially if you're thinking about some iron doors. Be careful with this company, because they're not doing it right. Pay attention to these kinds of things, because you don't, especially something like this, you don't want to be paying and then begging someone to do what they're supposed to do. So make sure, and I look now at these lines up here, and that suggests that they have all of these fives. They have some ones, and the ones are kind of big. You see, they have a few 2s, 3s, and 4s. But how do they get all of these 5s? Question it. This is something that I'm learning now. And I made a pact with myself. Anything that costs more than $1,000, I'm going to take time to research it. And I used to always laugh at my wife for always going for reviews. But and you can go for the reviews. But I'm saying know how to read the reviews, because as you see, a 3.7 could be like this. Look at that line. That 5s, all of those 5s make you think, damn, how did they get those 456 reviews? Now the 1s are coming. But none of these are, see, this, if you were to take those 5s out, it'd be at 1.8, Anyway, just something to think about, brain food. Have fun and keep learning all the time. Keep learning.